So, one of the big questions people engaged in oral history projects get from non oral history people are questions about the reliability of the methodology. Can we put people's stories on the same level as other forms of history? Is it the same as documentary evidence? And effectively, while we do contend that the stories people tell are more or less reliable, I would fundamentally argue that you're asking the wrong question. History is always a story being told. All stories come from particular points of view, and all data is incomplete to some degree. All data can be unreliable, and all data can be altered over time. All data must be understood as incomplete, and there is a context to that incompleteness. Stories are always told, and that means that things are included and other things are left out. All stories have narrators, even documentary evidence, written files. Those things still are edited. Some things are included, some things are not included. What we think is worth including, what we think is important to include, how we frame things, that's unique to time and place. And so what we choose to record and how we choose to record it tell us something about the history. But no story is ever complete. There are always multiple perspectives, and there are always things left out. The philosopher Michel Foucault points out that across time and space, there are different ways of constructing knowledge, different systems of categorization, ways of understanding the world, means of legitimating knowledge. He argues that you need to conduct an archaeology of knowledge, a deep dive, if you will, into how systems of knowledge work. And he argues that at different points in time, there'll be a discontinuity between what he calls our modes of knowledge, the way that we construct knowledge. Systems of knowledge are very much tied into power and privilege in Foucault's understanding. Using the example of sexuality, how has the historic power to define what is normal and what is deviant meant that some groups are marginalized, excluded, and criminalized? Scholars like Du Bois and later Bourdieu argue that we need to be reflexive as sociologists. This means situating the scholar in their time and place. In what ways would the scholar benefit from certain views on society? In what ways would the scholar be disadvantaged by certain views of society? We need to consider our own positionality, our own benefits, and our own costs when we think about the ways we analyze the social world. Our subject position is always going to impact the analysis. We can't pretend it's not going to. Rather, we need to critically analyze it. So to sum it all up, oral history is absolutely an important piece of the puzzle, but we need to think about the fact that all knowledge is incomplete, all knowledge is situated, and we as researchers have our limitations. Thanks for watching.